Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the GQ Jedi. If you're not already subscribed to me, blast that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. Now in the late 70s and early 80s, Kenner made a lot of Star Wars toy playsets. In the Return of the Jedi, there was a few that made that varied in scale. And today, I thought it would be fun to look at the Jabba's Dungeon playset. Jabba's Palace is a fan favorite locale among kids and audiences alike. The notorious crime gangster's palace was the place to see interesting creatures and aliens. And in the lower levels of Jabba's palace lies the dungeon where R2-D2 and C-3PO were immediately taken for processing after Luke gave them up to Jabba as a gift. Kenner decided the dungeon would make for a great playset and released one in 1983 as part of a Sears department store exclusive. Playset came packaged with 88, the torture droid from Return of the Jedi. Also came with Klaatu in Skiff Guard disguise. Last but not least, we also have Nikto, another Skiff Guard. Jabba Goons, gotta love them. These are the three that came packaged in the 83 playset. This playset should look familiar because it was originally used in the Droid Factory in 1979. Kenner reused the same model. The Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset, as it's called, got a gray base instead of the Droid Factory orange base. And the detailing and the molds in the base itself were changed to accommodate figures instead of a bunch of droid parts. But it is essentially the same exact playset in a sense. Still cool though. I mean, they did put a lot of good detail in it. It is reminiscent of the dungeon scene in Jabba's palace. Kenner was known to rehash old ideas to put out new Star Wars toys. I did a video on some of the Hoth playsets where Kenner did a similar thing. I'll leave a link for it in the description below. I think the draw for the playset as usual is the action figures. The promise of 3 figures inside the box is usually enough to get a playset sold regardless of play value. I say that because this playset only has this rotating crane. This is the only play feature to speak of on this playset. I think Kenner knew, that this playset wasn't that exciting. They had to include some action figures to entice kids to want to add this to their Star Wars playtime. Interesting that they chose this torture droid setup as the dungeon. Guess Kenner wasn't into making prison cells for kids to lock Han and Chewie in. It's not really a kid-friendly concept, but they'll still make an open belly feature for the Tauntaun so you can stick Luke inside its body. That's okay, though. Oh, Kenner. The base is large enough with plenty of room to populate with a lot of action figures. There's a lot of foot pegs in various places throughout the base. And of course, the base wouldn't be complete without the torture aspect. So, of course, you can absolutely hang 2-1B from the crane. Of course. 88 has to do EV99's bidding. I mean, this is the Jabba Dungeon. Is it not? Kenner re-released this playset in 1984 with slight modifications. They changed the box, they changed the base coloring to a tan instead of gray, and you got new figures. You got EV99, Barada, and you also got a Man-O-Man. All 3 of these seen in Jabba's Palace and Return of the Jedi. They were all packaged in the second edition of the Jabba's Dungeon, released in 1984. All of these figures are pretty cool. EV99 should have been packaged in the first version of this playset. This is, after all, her domain. I feel like she should have always been included in both versions of the playset. It makes sense that Kenner packaged these 3 figures with this playset because they are all part of the Power of the Force line of figures that came out in 1985. So Kenner was just trying to boost interest in those line of figures by including them in this playset. Besides the playset changing base colors and figures, the 1984 dungeon is the same as the 1983 version. Like I said, just different colors, different figures, but it is essentially the exact same playset. Due to the fact that the second playset came out with last 17 figures, that playset is considered the rare, the more expensive of the 2 because of these 3 last 17 figures. I honestly don't know what Kenner could have done to the playset to spice it up. Maybe the EV99 could have gotten a terminal, maybe some kind of situation like she had in the movie when she was processing R2D2 and C3PO. I don't know. I mean, this is a reuse of the 1979 Droid Factory. Both the playsets are great. They both display well. I think the tan one aesthetically looks more appealing, but the gray one, the 1983 version, the original, I think is a little bit more movie accurate to what we saw in the film. But you can't go wrong with either playset. Well, guys, thanks for playing with me in the dungeon today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, let me know. Leave a comment. Give the like button a thumbs up because it does help the channel out. And if you've not done so, blast that subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. And remember, collect or collect not, there is no try.